Hey guys, it's me again. I am back with the second journal in my kind of country farm. This one is a skinny, so it is soft-sided and it only has one signature, but that does not mean it is not packed full of stuff. So the cover is, this is an old flannel shirt. And then it has cheesecloth and some plaid and some vintage lace, crocheted lace. And then this we'll talk about in a minute, but this is, you'll see it inside, but this is paper that I made to kind of look like a punch tin ceiling. And then some old book and some cute roosters and chicks and hens right there. And then a couple of buttons, some wooden buttons and stuff just stitched on there. And then I have kind of a ruffle at the seam, and the back is just more of this plaid, old plaid shirt. So the ruffle is kind of cool. It sits just to the back side, so it kind of frames the side of the book here. And here's, this is just the tie from sewing the signature in. Goodness. It's late and I'm just trying to get this filming done. So my brain might work or it might not work. And you'll just have fun with me, right? It's sewn, it's closed a little bit high, but that's just so you can see the image with just a piece of lace. So let's take a look inside. There are big pockets. It's lined on the inside. It's sewn around the edge. So it's lined on the inside with this kind of green gingham plaid here. And there's some tickets and an old vintage milk tag top here. And then in this big pocket, there are a couple of big journaling cards. This one has some muslin ribbon on the top. And this is some washi that I made. And then this is a vintage piece of, well, replica piece of wallpaper from Tim Holtz. And then this is some lace that T sent me in my Happy Mail. And I thought it kind of looked like the valance on an old window. And this reminded me of some farmhouse wallpaper. So that's in the front. And then just like the bigger version of this, there are several of these in here. These are just some vintage seed packets, and I've sewn them into pockets. And then those are tucked inside things. And here's some more hen and chicks and some lace. And then there's a couple of spots where there's either lace on the side or some of this plaid fabric on the sides as well. Here is a little horse on this pocket, and inside the pocket is a delivery receipt with its carbon. And I talked about these in my last video as well with the bigger version of this book, but these came from T in my Happy Mail as well. And this is a copy of it, but it's a dairy cooperative share check or a payment check. But it's really cool. And so here we go, dairy check in there. Here is just clipped on a tag with a girl and her lamb and sheep. It's sewn, it's collage there. Here's a pocket, more collage with some cows hanging out in the water. Another piece of that vintage replica wallpaper. It's kind of cool. It feels like wallpaper. Inside this tuck. And then there's also some, it's an advertisement for seed ephemera. It's from Faribault, Minnesota, which is not that far from here. Lace tab, some washi, a little digital printing through here too. That's a sheep. Here in this plaid pocket, we have another set of the do's and don'ts of gardening. So, you know, super important tips that'll make you the best green thumb ever. And then this is a piece of tractor ephemera, tractor cycle ephemera. And just some ledger. This is some washi that I made from images from an old kids farm book. And here's a tab, some Edith Holden with some birds there. And then this is technically, I guess, an embellished paper clip, but it's also like a Tracy Fox tag. And then also this part though, you take the little paper clip off and it is a notebook. And there's plenty of pages in there, so you could write a bunch of stuff. Then we put the little clip back on and it just hangs like that. And that just goes back on here. A piece of crunchy paper. This is the same image that was in the other one, that of some adverts for plants and seeds. Here's another embellished paper clip, the button and some lace, and here's some cows. And here we have, this is another, right here, this is another embellished paper clip, and it's holding in this flap, and it's also holding in this piece of cowhide journaling card right there. Here is another full-on, full-fledged Tracy Fox tag. So this back part here is what I was talking about. So I ran it through my embosser and then painted it with silver paint, so it's kind of shiny silver. And I meant it to look like the, meant it to look like punch tin ceilings. That's kind of what it reminds me of. So like you'd see a punch tin ceiling in an old farmhouse, or like on the backsplash. So that's what this is supposed to look like, and it works for me. And it's a pocket right here. And then this is a girl out here doing some sewing out in the country. And collage down on this barnwood pocket, there's another one of those vintage milk tops, and that's just clipped in here, right here. The middle of the signature is this gorgeous picture of kind of the old, rolling country. I'd imagine that, there could be farms down in there and stuff. Just a really pretty green picture for the center of that signature. Here is a couple of guys and their horse-drawn hay wagon. Some barnwood paper. This is an old hen house. And this is another embellished paper clip right here. It says wanted to live in the country, and that when you take it off, this flaps open. Another little half page with some washi and talking about pole beans, not bowl beans. Pole beans, there you go. Like I said, it's late, guys. Crunchy paper, some Edith Holden, washi and some sewing, more washi and some sewing. The other side of that ledger. Here's another tag with that same punch stuff that I was doing to kind of look like the punch tin ceilings. I really like how that turned out. And here is some just layered ephemera. So it's got some crunchy paper behind it. And this is for scratch chicken feed. It's sewn around. Zigzagged, of course, right? Because we know how much Nikki likes her zigzag stitch. Big, lovely cow right there. And then this is another embellished paper clip, and it's holding on a Farmer's Almanac from 1942, which is not actually a Farmer's Almanac. It's actually a mini notebook that has some papers that you can write in. And that is holding on to some old project paper here. Oh, come on. There we go. With this pretty lace as a tab. Some washi. This is a little half page, and this is a pocket with some pretty flowers on it, and a library card that says living off the land. And then this little piece of kind of old barnwood paper, and it has in it a piece of ephemera that's an old children's book. It has a little boy, it looks like they're out in the country. And on the back side of that half page, there's a couple little tabs here and some more ephemera. This is a painting of a little girl and her cow. And then, of course, some John Deere ephemera, and that is sewn on to some more of the punch tin ceiling stuff. And some more trim. This collaged pocket here has a delivery receipt in its carbon, another one of those dairy checks, and then a rooster tag all stuck in there. And one more at the very back, my tag, and then one more Tracy Fox tag. And this guy hangs or can tuck in there, and more of that punch tin ceiling looking stuff, and another milk tab. And then in the back pocket, I have a quilted card, and then this is a big bag right here that has just some papers for journaling in it. So these are just a couple of pieces of stationery that go back into this big wax paper bag, and that goes back in here. It's stamped with a bird and some script and some paper ribbon. So there we go. I believe it has 60 pages. I'll put that in the description if that's not right. Otherwise, here it is. This will be in my Etsy store as well. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned because I have some other, another like tiny mini journal and some envelope things inspired by Gail. No one ever ventures her last name. Agostinelli, maybe? And some tags that I've made, some floral tags, and some trims, and some paper packs. So I'm having some things in my Etsy store besides just journals. I'm gonna put some other things in there as well. So thank you again for checking this out, and for all the lovely comments and the likes and the subscribes and all the things. I'm having so much fun. I can't wait for summer when I'll be able to do a lot more of this stuff. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. God bless. Bye-bye.